What's up, Headless Horde? Welcome back to the channel. Now, what if I told you that one of the most powerful moments in Andor Season 2 is actually a prologue to a Star Wars Rebels episode that aired 8 years ago, and that these two completely different shows, one animated, one live action, combined to tell one of the most impactful stories in all of Star Wars. In today's video, I'll be going over how Andor and Rebels perfectly connect the Rebellion. Before we get started, if you could do me a massive favor and smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's go ahead and get a little nerdy with this one. Let's start where Andor and Rebels sit in the Star Wars timeline. Both shows take place during what's called the Age of Rebellion, just a few years before the destruction of the Death Star in A New Hope. Here's how the timeline lines up. So let's first start at the beginning. Andor Season 1. We are in 5 BBY. And then Rebels Season 1 Episodes 1 through 7 take place at the same time. If we skip forward to 4 BBY, we now find ourselves in Andor Season 2 Episodes 1 through 3, which will match up with Rebels Season 1 Episodes 8 through Season 2 of Rebels Episode 9. So it spans quite a bit of time in Rebels. In 3 BBY, which would be the now second arc, which is episodes 4 through 6 of Andor Season 2, this will align with the back half of Rebels Season 2. The episodes that just aired, episodes 7 through 9 of Andor Season 2, take place in 2 BBY, and this is where things really start to connect. Next week, we will see the final 3 episodes of Andor Season 2, which will be 1 year before the Battle of Yavin, and it pairs perfectly with Rebels Season 4. What makes this connection so exciting is how Episode 9 of Andor leads directly into Rebels Season 3, Episode 18, titled Secret Cargo. Now, if you haven't watched my breakdown yet of Episodes 7, 8, and 9, I'll go ahead and link that at the top and also in the description down below. In Episode 9, we see Mon Mothma finally taking a public stand after the Gorman massacre, a moment long talked about in Star Wars lore. This is where the pieces fall into place. At the end of Andor, we hear that the Gold Squadron will escort Mon Mothma to Yavin 4. But that mission, it doesn't play out in Andor, but it does play out in Rebels. In Rebels, Phoenix Squadron, which includes Hera Syndulla, Zeb, and Ezra Bridger, are waiting for a mysterious VIP transport. It turns out to be Mon Mothma, fleeing Imperial forces, which like we saw at the end of Episode 9 of Andor. Her original ship is attacked and she's forced to board the Ghost. From there, she makes a galaxy-wide broadcast rallying rebel forces, and the Rebel Alliance truly begins to form. After delivering an absolutely epic speech that calls out Emperor Palpatine, Cassian then helps get her off of Coruscant safely. Both Andor and Rebels feature Mon Mothma giving a historic speech. Each version reflects the tone of its show and its time. In Rebels, her message is a bold condemnation of the Emperor after the Gorman massacre. She states, "I name the Emperor himself for ordering the brutal attacks on the people of Gorman. We cannot allow this evil to stand." This version fits the style of Rebels, clear, heroic, and geared toward a younger audience. It draws on classic Star Wars themes of resistance to tyranny, but Andor takes a different route. Mon Mothma's speech in Episode 9 is a sobering reflection on truth, lies, and the death of objective reality. She says, "The distance between what is said and what is known to be true has become an abyss. The death of truth is the ultimate victory of evil."
The monster who will come for us all soon enough is Emperor Palpatine.
This is no fantasy speech. It mirrors the real-world rise of misinformation and authoritarianism. It's a Star Wars message, but for today's world, and that's what makes it hit so hard. Now, I know there's a lot of comments on my last video speaking about this. A lot of the comments stated that it has no place in Star Wars, bringing in the real-world issues. While most of the time I completely agree with this, I think this is one case that allows this episode, specifically episode 8, to really hit so hard. In my opinion, I don't think this is bringing in identity politics. This is not bringing in other things of the real world. I think it's just something that George Lucas himself would have probably added. When developing the original trilogy, especially A New Hope, George Lucas did use what was going on in the world, the Vietnam War, as a basis of the entire story.
The good guys are the rebels. They're using asymmetric warfare against a highly organized empire. I think we call those guys terrorists today. We call them Mujahideen, we call them Al-Qaeda.
When I did it, they were Viet Cong.
Exactly. So were you thinking of that at the time?
Yes.
So using a real world current landscape to explain the feelings and the loss of what happens on Gorman, I don't think it's too far-fetched. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree with this. But again, most of the time, I am totally against all of these identity politics coming into a galaxy far, far away. But I think in this type of show, although I've not been the hugest fan of it, I do think that this does make it hit a little bit harder, and it does go along with what George would have done. Now, Andor and Rebels tell the same story, just from two different angles, or 2 points of view, if you will. Rebels is the spark, the heroic, swashbuckling rebellion. Andor is the shadow, the sacrifices, the politics, and the espionage. We also get recurring characters across both shows. Saw Gerrera appears in Clone Wars, Rebels, Andor, and Rogue One. And of course, Mon Mothma, portrayed brilliantly by Genevieve O'Reilly, is the thread that ties this all together. Together, these episodes create one of the most cohesive storytelling bridges in Star Wars history. Whether you started with Andor or Rebels, watching them side by side gives you a fuller, deeper appreciation for how the rebellion truly began. Now, sometimes I do wish that in Andor, we would have been able to see some of these scenes recreated, because I think it really would have linked them together even more. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get a surprise cameo or anything from the Ghost Crew, because we are going to be jumping 1 year later, which will take us closer to Rebels Season 4. But I did think it was really cool that they mentioned the Phoenix Squadron. If you haven't seen Star Wars Rebels, Secret Cargo, now would be the time. And if Andor blew you away with his political punch, go back and watch how that animated series Side of the Galaxy answered the call. I think watching this episode right after episodes 7, 8, and 9 will link it all together. Let me know down in the comments, do you think that the political landscape of Andor hits the real world just too hard? Do you believe that George Lucas would have been okay with the way the storytelling is going? Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to keep those heads on, and I'll see you guys in the next video.